This video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and while supplies last, if you mention Saffron Olive in your order notes, we'll hook you up with a free Saffron Olive sticker with any Card Kingdom order. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. So I'm back from GP Vegas, finally excited to start playing some Magic again, and we're playing a deck that you might have heard about a little bit. This is my vacation deck. So the story of this deck, this is Bant Snowblade. Basically, when the BNR came out, we were all still in Vegas, me and Richard and Krim. We were hanging out, we were all trying to build Stoneforge decks, like Monday morning right after the announcement before everyone went home. And this was the first Stoneblade deck I built. I was like, all right, I'm building this Bant deck. I threw it together and I showed it to Richard and Krim and they were kind of like, whatever, that's fine. But then over my vacation in Vegas, I got to play some leagues with it and I went 5-0 and 5-0 and 4-1 and the deck was just kind of killing it. So I figured should probably make a video of it. So we're showing off Bant Snowblade for Modern today. Yes, it's a little expensive, but it's pretty sweet. It's really cool. It takes advantage of Stoneforge Mystic and some of the new unbanned cards, and I'm excited to show it off. So, gonna do a quick deck tech. It's not a super complicated deck to break down, but do a quick deck tech, talk about it, jump into the gameplay, see how the deck actually works, see if we can keep going 5-0 with it. Fingers crossed. I would be so disappointing if after going like 5-0, 5-0, 4-1, when I didn't have a camera to record, if we go like 1-4 or 0-5 or something, I would be so sad. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, a quick reminder before we break down Bant Snowblade for Modern. If you enjoyed this deck and you enjoy Much Abrew in general, it would be so sweet of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Bant Snowblade, starting with our freshly unbanned centerpiece, Stoneforge Mystic. So you probably know what this one does. It has been the talk of the community ever since it was unbanned, even before with people asking for it to be unbanned. Basically, 2 mana comes into play, tutors up an equipment, then it can put equipment into play from our hand for just 2 mana. So we have a couple of main deck equipments. Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice. These are kind of our main targets for Stoneforge. Batterskull, obviously pretty insane. We can turn 2 Stoneforge, turn 3, get a 4/4 lifelink. If the Germ token dies, we can bounce it or equip it or replay it with Stoneforge. Sword of Fire and Ice, my favorite of the swords. I've seen some debate over this. Maybe Feast and Famine is better or whatever. I think Sword of Fire and Ice is really good. It generates card advantage. It snipes down small creatures. Has protection from some semi-relevant colors. So those are our 2 Stoneforge targets, and that's kind of one of our plans for finishing the game. We also have some ramp to get things started. Noble Hierarch, Birds of Paradise, not super relevant with Stoneforge in specific since it's only 2 mana, but we have a lot of good 3 drops. We have some good 4 and 5 drops. So being able to accelerate into those plays a turn early, really nice. Plus, worst case, we can always throw a sword on our Noble Hierarch or Birds of Paradise and get in some damage that way, or equip our flying Birds of Paradise with a Batterskull in the late game to have this massive 4/5 lifelinking flyer. So basically just speeding up the deck. Then we have our flash creature package, and this is kind of the main core of our deck, at least creature-wise. So ice-fang, just a really good card. It is essentially our Baleful Sticks, except it also has flash, and flash creatures work really well with Stoneforge Mystic because we can flash them at the end of our opponent's turn. Maybe our opponent's not expecting a creature to be able to wear a sword or whatever. Flash them in, get value that way, and then go attacking, get our sword triggers, get our Batterskull hits in. Spell Queller gives us some defense, basically a counter spell on a stick. Vendilion Click, very nice in a Stoneforge meta, because one of the things that happens with Stoneforge decks is opponents like play Stoneforge, get their Batterskull, and then when your opponent goes to put the Batterskull into play with Stoneforge, you can Vendilion Click in response, steal the Batterskull, fizzle the Stoneforge activation. So a solid card, another evasive creature to equip with our stuff, and good against opposing Stoneforge decks. And then Restoration Angel, nice body, dodging Lightning Bolt, flickering our Codal to draw a card, our Vendilion Click to get another like Thoughtseize style trigger, our Spell Queller to reset it and counter something else. Very good value there as well, and we have some really good planeswalkers to support this plan. So apart from our creatures, on the top end of our curve, we have some card draw generating planeswalkers. Teferi Time Raveler, our cheapest planeswalker, can come down on turn 2 with the help of Birds of Paradise or Noble Hierarch, bounce one of our opponent's things for the temple play, and the ability to make our opponent play at sorcery speed is actually surprisingly effective and important, and can do some really cool tricks that we'll talk about in a minute. And then at the top end of our curve, 2 Jason Mind Sculptors, 2 Teferi Hero of Dominarias. Basically, these cards do 2 things. First, they give us these insane card advantage engines. Jace brainstorming every turn, Teferi drawing this extra card every turn. So that's good on its own. The other thing that these cards do is give us a way to win if our main creature beatdown flash plan kind of falls apart. Maybe our opponent has Ensnaring Bridge, or our opponent can build such a big board of creatures we can't get in for lethal damage, kills all of our stuff with removal. Being able to Fate Seal our opponent into ultimate with Jace, or like ultimate Teferi, or just like tuck an Ensnaring Bridge with Teferi, really helpful in some weird fringe situations. So most of the time, we're just winning by beating down with creatures, but Jace and Teferi give us these main deck ways to win games that otherwise our deck would really struggle to win against specific cards. Speaking of Teferi, one of my favorite parts of this deck is Teferi and Spell Queller. It's a really strong synergy, especially you throw in Restoration Angel as well, but basically, if you haven't seen this, Teferi is such a weird card, but for a spell to be sorcery speed and work with Teferi's static ability, nothing can be on the stack. So Spell Queller, when it leaves the battlefield, it puts this trigger on the stack that's like, you could replay the card that I had exiled, but since there's a trigger on the stack, if there's a Teferi out, our opponent can't replay it. So one of the sweetest locks of this deck, and it's not a hard lock, but is being able to like Spell Queller something, then have Teferi like bounce Spell Queller, the card that was under Spell Queller gets exiled forever because our opponent can't recast it, then we can Spell Queller again, get another spell, or like Restoration Angel, blink Spell Queller, get another spell. So we get a lot of value just grinding people out with Spell Quellers and Teferi and Restoration Angels. Otherwise, Path to Exile, Force of Negation, give us a little bit of interaction. Path for creatures, Force of Negation for non-creatures. Then we have our mana base, which is mostly straightforward, a bunch of fetch lands and shock lands. Field of Ruin is our colorless land, mostly to deal with Tron, which seems pretty popular in our post-banning world, but a bunch of shocks, some snow-covered basics to turn on our Coatl. Sideboard-wise, Sword of Sinew and Steel is our Stoneforge mirror card, and it's actually much better than it looks, and I've been very impressed with it. It's really good against other Stoneforge decks, since it blows up an artifact or a planeswalker, which means you can kill like a Teferi, a Jace, whatever planeswalker is floating around. Plus, you get to blow up the Batter Skull that your opponent puts into play, and since it has Pro Black, your opponent can't block with the Batter Skull. And I've also just been impressed against like the Urza decks, for example. Sword of Sinew and Steel is really good. It's good against some Tron decks. You can like sneak it in, put it on a flash creature, hit the opponent, blow up a whatever, Ugin or a Karn, some big bad planeswalker, maybe like an Oblivion Stone as well. So I've been very impressed with Sinew and Steel. Knight of Autumn, Core Firewalker, give us some life gain. Core Firewalker really good against Burn, which is also super popular right now. Dovin's Veto, Dabbing Sphere for combo, also Dovin's Veto, good in the control matchups. Rest in Peace, Surgical for graveyards. Winds of Abandon, a little bit more removal, basically another Path to Exile, a bad Path to Exile, but it can also be a Wrath if we get to 6 mana. And Pithing Needle to shut down Planeswalkers, Oblivion Stones. And that is Bant Snowblade for Modern. And that's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So let's jump into the gameplay, give this deck a shot, see how it works. Like I said, I've had some success with it. Hopefully that continues for our videos. Fingers crossed. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for waiting for me. I'm so happy to be back and playing Magic and making videos. So yeah, I missed you all while I was in Vegas. So yeah, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some Bant Snowblade in Modern, a deck that I was having a lot of success with while I was on vacation in Vegas. We'll see. We'll see how it does. Ooh, Ancestral Vision. So something controlling. Well, let's Temple Garden untapped and Birds of Paradise. You. Opponent taking down Ancestral. Yeah, the Ancestral is going to be an issue. Opponent drawing 3, wow. Oh, is this like mono blue turns? Ew. That's really bad. Alright, so let's Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Take a Breeding Pool. Untapped. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Tutor up Batter Skull. Play Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. We would like to get down this Teferi Time Raveler. That would be our best card to resolve because it shuts down this Ancestral. just by existing on the battlefield. Ancestral, taking down. Drawing another land would be good. Field of Ruin for our opponent. And passes. Land, please? That is a land. Okay, so that means... Wow, how do we do this? How do we do this? Ooh! 2 mana. Alright, so play Flooded Strand. Run out Teferi. Wow, opponent's going to Field of Ruin. Interesting. Okay. We'll grab a Snow-Covered Plains. Opponent gets a Plains. Teferi resolves. Going to Path Stoneforge. Alright, well, let's Stoneforge. Put Batterskull into play. Stoneforge down. We grab Snow-Covered Island. Teferi down. Take up Teferi. Pass the turn. And now I kind of like where we're at. If this Teferi Time Raveler sticks to fizzle this Ancestral, things are super good. Also, Teferi would let us resolve Big Teferi, which is also super good. Opponent. What do you got? What do you got? Is this main phase cryptic? It's not even that good because then we just recast it. Like, unless they have maybe Force of Negation or something. Just like bouncing Teferi, then we recast it and still fizzle Ancestral. Wow, bounces Batterskull. Okay, that's fine. Opponent, passing. Well, crack Flooded Strand. Take a Hollowed Fountain. Untap. Take up Teferi. And yeah, this is looking very good now. Now we're safe to play Big Teferi and just start drawing cards. We could also sword and attack, but I think just getting down another Planeswalker, probably better. Teferi. Draw. Flooded Strand. Yeah, pass the turn. Actually, we get to get in with Birds of Paradise for one. And they're just done. They're done. They're done. They're done. And all right. Little Teferi. Pretty good against Planeswalker deck. So, Dovin's Vetoes seem pretty good against what our opponent's doing. Maybe Pithing Needle? Pithing Needle? We don't know exactly what build. Like, if they're a Stoneforge deck, then sort of Sinew and Steel is also good. We probably are going to bring it in anyway. What do we not want against the control deck is the biggest question. One of the things I found with this deck in the Control Mirror is we kind of already have most of what we want in our deck. Like, almost all of our cards are good in the Control Mirror. I mean, like, trim a Birds of Paradise, trim a Path to Exile, and what? Like, all these cards are good. Our Planeswalkers are good, our Flash Creatures are good, our Mana Dorks. Maybe let's go down another Birds of Paradise. Let's just go 4 Noble Hierarchs and run it like that. I feel like we're hopefully in good shape. Little Teferi really coming through there. That was being able to fizzle that draw 3 really key. Well, we got all of our Noble Hierarchs. I guess we'll keep this. Noble Hierarchs, this is fine. Like, we have a lot of mana, but ice-fang's a redraw. Horizon Canopy can also be a redraw. Alright, there's Ancestral. Yeah, let's Flooded Strand, crack it for Breeding Pool. Untapped. And the noblest of hierarchs. Pass turn. Opponent taking down Ancestral. So we do want to keep this Ancestral from resolving. That would be pretty nice. Opponent's only got 4 cards in hand at the moment. Field of Ruin. Opponent passing. Path to Exile. Meh. Well, let's play Flooded Strand. Play Noble Hierarch. And we're just going to pass. I think we'd rather run out Coatl than get in for 2. Opponent taking down Ancestral. Ooh, boy, missing land drops. All right, crack Flooded Strand. Hollowed Fountain. Untapped. Down to 14. Run out Coatl. Ooh, opponent Spell Snare. All right. We draw a land. Not great. Well, go to combat. Get in with Noble Hierarch. Hit our opponent. Down to 16. Play Horizon Canopy. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Can we stop the Ancestral? That is a big question. Opponent's passing. Well, cash in Horizon Canopy, draw a card. There is Teferi and Horizon Canopy. Okay, so I think our plan is play Windswept Heath, go to combat, get in for 2. I don't think we can try to run out the Teferi here. I think we have to Force of Negation the Ancestral. And then if it gets remanded, we can pick it back up. Opponent untaps. Here comes Ancestral. This is kind of a moment of truth. If this Force stops the Ancestral, we're in really good shape. Yep, so 1, 2, 3. Force of Negation, Ancestral. Resolves! Get it out of here! Opponent hits a land, though. So opponent's kind of still in the game. Hitting the land drop. Opponent passing. Well, crack Windswept Teeth. Take a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Untap. Another path. All these paths are not great. Get into a Noble Hierarch. We're on the slowest clock. Get in for 2. Yup. Opponent down to 12. Maybe our opponent's not playing creatures. Maybe things are so scattered now with everyone testing out Stoneforge. It's definitely possible our opponent's not really a Stoneforge deck, and our paths are very bad here. Like, they could just be like a Planeswalker control deck, essentially. Opponent runs out Vendilion Click. They might have to target themselves. Targets us. Okay. There's a Stoneforge. Takes it to Fairy. I don't know if I really want to path this. Giving our opponent a land seems bad. Let's at least stop Upkeep. Upkeep. Path Vendilion Click. Give our opponent a land, unfortunately. And opponent, another land. Cracks the land. And there's big old Jace. Yup. Jace brainstorms. Ooh, that's not the best. Alright, we untap. More lands. Now play Snow-Covered Plains. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Resolves. Tutor up. I guess Batterskull. Get the Batterskull. Go to combat. Hit Jace. Opponent's going to get multiple Jace activations, though, which is not what we really want to be happening here. Jace goes to 1. And our opponent's hand's got to be sweet now. Yep. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent. What do you got with all your brainstorms? Untaps. Going to Field of Ruin upkeep to shuffle. Sure. Whatever. We will grab Snow-Covered Island. Opponent. Brainstorms. Do we get to kill the Jace? That is our most important question here. Before too much more damage is done. 2 brainstorms is already rough. Opponent. Another Field of Ruin. Passing. Well, cash in Horizon Canopy, draw a card. There's a veto. Flooded Strand. Well, play Snow-Covered Island. Go to combat. Attack Jace. Opponent has more Vendilion Click, so that resolves. Going to target us, so we will Path Vendilion Click. Okay. We will Dovin's Veto the Force of Negation. Get rid of Vendilion Click. Oh, this might work out amazingly. If this Jace actually dies. Stoneforge. Batterskull. Does our opponent have a path? Our hand's empty. We got a land. Does Jace die? Jace down? Okay. Pass the turn. That was big. We won the battle. We got the Batterskull. What's our opponent's follow-up? Batterskull of their own. That's fine. We have Noble Hierarchs and Stoneforges. Our opponent does not. Opponent passes. We draw. Spellcrawler's decent. Play Flooded Strand. Go to combat. And I think the tide might have turned. We got through 2 brainstorms with Jace. Noble Hierarch allows our Batterskull to attack through our opponent's Batterskull. Opponent's gonna chump, sure. Gains a bit of life. Opponent does not have enough mana, though, to replay Batterskull every turn. We pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Now this is where we would like to draw a Planeswalker. Crack Flooded Strand. Get a Breeding Pool. Tapped. Untap. Force of Negation's nice. Go to combat. Get in with Batterskull. Noble Hierarch. Exalted triggers. Hit our opponent. Down to 9. And pass the turn. Is our opponent to the pick up and replay Batterskull part of the game? Alright, opponent's going to blow up our Breeding Pool. That's fine. Get a Snow-Covered Forest. Deck actually has a decent amount of basics. We have 5 basics, so Field of Ruin's not going to mana screw us. Picks up Batterskull. We will attempt to Force of Negation this Batterskull. Force of Negation? Logic not, delve everything. Alright, yep. Can't pay. So opponent staying alive. And passes. Another Spell Queller. Well, get in. Opponent. Are they back in chump block mode? They are. Alright, opponent chumps. We go to 30, opponent goes to 13. Ooh, big Teferi. Okay. Well, now we got to deal with that. Draws a card. And untaps a couple lands. Ooh, where's our big Teferis? And our Jaces? And so forth. Ooh, sort of Fire and Ice. Well, we're just going to go to combat. Attack Teferi. Get some triggers. Opponent's going to Cryptic. Well, we will Spell Queller the Cryptic. We gotta get rid of Teferi. Get rid of Cryptic. Kill Teferi. And pass the turn. Oh, this has been a battle. This has been a really close game. Opponent. Passing. Well, we will Stoneforge. Put sort of Fire and Ice into play. Untap. Cryptic tap draw. Okay. Well, we will pass the turn. Flooded Strand for our opponent. And passes. Snapcaster. Well, we're going to fight a battle over this. For Cryptic. Cryptic tap draw. We will Force of Negation. And opponent scoops it up. Whoo! Okay. That was close, but we got there. We got there. I feel like our control matchup pretty good with this deck. And eventually we just ground our opponent out. And yeah. Our Batter Skull beat their Batter Skull. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. All right. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing some Bant Snowblade in Modern, and we're going to give this a go. It's a little slow. We have Force of Negations for protection for unfair decks. Keeping all 4 drops, though, not the best. Our opponent is going to 5. That would make me think our opponent's on Tron. Whenever I see someone mulligan to 5, my first thought is they're on Tron. My second thought is maybe they're unlucky. Alright, we'll see how it goes. I mean, our opponent being on 5, though, does improve the chances of this hand working. We do have a Jace. I mean, Jace is really powerful. And we could draw into, like, a 1 or 2 drop. Any Mana Dork is good. Stoneforge, Coatl, anything that's cheap is good, basically. That's where we're at. Temple Garden, tap, pass the turn. See if our opponent is indeed on Tron. Opponent untaps. Maybe. Basic Forest could definitely be Tron. Not a good Tron hand, though. Expedition map. Whew. Man. Is there any way we should just, like, Force of Negation, pitching Force of Negation? Oh, I'm really tempted to. Alright, let's not. Let's not. We'll let that one go. Ugh. Ugh. We do have a bunch of Field of Ruins now. That was one of the updates I made to the deck because I was tired of losing to Tron. Pet the Exile. That's a little meh. Well, Snow-Covered Island, go. Opponent. Are we going to regret not Force of Negating that Expedition map? Ghost Quarter, okay. Well, thankfully our opponent's Infinity away. Alright. Well, there goes Jace. Not happy about it, but we gotta fight the fight. Next turn we can just hardcast Force of Negation. Losing Jace is annoying, though. Sort of Fire Nice. Alright, Flooded Strand, go. Awkward, awkward, awkward. Pass the turn. At least our opponent's on 0 Tron lands. That is the tiny bit of good news. Losing Jace does hurt, though. We really would have liked that Jace. That would have been sweet. Opponent. Opponent cracks a map. And Chromatic Star. Alright. Well, land, please? Maybe? Perhaps? Something we could do? Land is good. Think we could play is good. Ooh, Field of Ruin. Okay. Field of Ruin is a land that we like. That's a land that allows us to cast Resto and is going to help keep our opponent off Tron. And now if we draw another land, we just get to sort of Fire Nice and start drawing cards and doing all that fun stuff. That's good. That's good. Sylvan Scrying. Okay. We will take a Hallowed Fountain. Untapped. Force of Negation. And there's Chromatic Sphere. Yup. Still no threats. Boy, that Jace would be nice now if we didn't Force of Negate it away. Now what? Yeah, let's blow up the tower. Keep our opponent on as few Tron lands as possible. Take Snow-Covered Island. Stoneforge for Batterskull. Now we gotta switch into close out the game mode before our opponent can draw something to jank us out. Alright, pass the turn. I mean, we're on turn 5 and our opponent has literally 0 Tron lands. Opponent cracks. Green. Draws. And cracks. Green. Draws. Untaps. Alright. Another Sylvan Scrying. So opponent's working on reassembling Tron. Gets a power plant. Plays a power plant. Chromatic Sphere. And passes. ice-fang Coatl. Well, alright. We will blue-green. Run out Coatl. See if we can draw a land. Ooh, Click is actually decent. Alright. Pass the turn. Click might be able to draw us buy us another turn after our opponent does assemble Tron. Possibly. And we are going to start getting in for damage, finally. Opponent sacks. Green. Another Field of Ruin would be nice. Oblivion Stone. Yeah, that is annoying. Definitely annoying. Yep. and Chromatic Sphere, but no land. All right, so we will... All right, let's do this a little differently. Let's Stoneforge. Put sort of Fire and Ice into play. Untap. Coatl. Equip Sword. Go to combat. Get in with Coatl. Hit our opponent for 5 and draw a card. Ooh. Ooh, Force of Negation would have been so good if our opponent didn't already have the Oblivion Stone. It still could be good in the future. Well, pass the turn. Opponent. Do they find a land for Oblivion Stone? Alright, opponent sacks. So they have to Oblivion Stone main phase if they want Oblivion Stone. Another they're drawing all their non-Tron lands somehow. That actually worked out though. If we're gonna get Oblivion Stone, it's much better that it happens. Wow, not gonna get Oblivion Stoned. Okay. That means we're gonna probably get in another sword hit. Alright, green, blue. Coatl. Draw a card. There's a land. Untap. And a land. Play Misty Rainforest. Go to combat. Attack. Yeah, we'll leave back Stoneforge, just in case. Hit our opponent. Yeah, let's crack Misty. Thin our deck. Crim style. We will take a Breeding Pool. Tapped. Opponent down to 11. Opponent down to 9. Ooh, Teferi, that's a huge draw! Oh my goodness, that's so big. Now we get to play Teferi. Oh, that's huge. That might win us the game, actually. We get to bounce Oblivion Stone, and then we can counter it on the way back down if we need to. Although we might regret not playing that land untapped. Opponent, gonna put a Fate counter on something? Fate counter, sure. Field of Ruin. Yeah, we should have, I guess, played the land untapped in hindsight. Because now 5, 6, we can hit for 7, but that's still not lethal. Power plant for our opponent. Worm Coil Engine. That is super fine. Opponent, passing. Big Teferi. Well, take up Teferi. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to... Yeah, Sword of Fire and Ice. Get to draw a card. Noble Hierarch. Yup. So we'll play Field of Ruin. We'll pass the turn. We'll discard Noble Hierarch. Yes, sure. Opponent's going to Relicas. That's fine. Misty down. So discard Noble Hierarch. Upkeep. Path Worm Coil Engine. Draw step. Vendilion Click. And then we still have Force of Negation. Pitching this to Teferi. And hopefully this is enough layers of disruption to pick up the win. Vendilion Click. Target our opponent. Worm Coil, Oblivion Stone, Karn, Walking Ballista. So we will take Walking Ballista. That could actually beat us. Pass the turn. Alright, the Walking Ballista could have shot down, well, maybe we still would have been fine. They could have killed most of our flyers, but not all of them. And then I guess we can still put Batterskull into play. So I guess we would probably still beat Walking Ballista. But now I think with this Force of Negation, we should be good. Desperation, Sax Relic. This is the worst I've ever seen Tron do at assembling Tron, I think, or close to it. Worm Coil, yup. Opponent, passing. I mean, we don't even got to do anything. We just untap, combat, attack with our flyers. Okay, taking down Tron, at least in game 1. That went pretty well. I think we might have got a little lucky. Opponent mulligan and just could not assemble Tron. Okay. Well, that's good. Now we get to bring in some stuff that's actually pretty good against Tron. In Damping Spheres and... Oh, man. Surgical is really good if we Field of Ruin. We do have 3 Field of Ruins now. Sort of Sinew and Steel is also pretty decent. Probably better than Fire and Ice. Pithing Needle is also good. The question is, what are we cutting? ice-fang Coatl is kind of only okay. It does cycle, but it doesn't do anything super special. So we can trim Coatls. Maybe we're going to trim Birds of Paradise. Go down to like 3 Path to Exiles, and what's our last cut? Maybe go 2 Spell Quellers. Dovin's Veto and Night of Autumn can both also be good. Let's go down 1 big Teferi. Let's keep the cool one. Let's go down one big Teferi for a Dovin's Veto, and 1 Jace for a Night of Autumn. Run it like that. All right, Field of Ruin Surgical opening hand. Let's do it. Also, that needs our opponent not to have Tron on 3, but... Well... This is a nice little value-y hand, although... Does it beat Tron? Turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Spell Queller. I mean, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. Not anything that's specifically great against Tron. Ancient Stories goes digging. But we do hopefully have Hierarch into Spell Queller into Teferi or something. Something along those lines. Opponent finds Tron land number 1. Is mine. Yup. And passes. We could just draw Damping Sphere. Stoneforge. Well, Misty, crack it. Take a Breeding Pool. Untapped. And the Noblest of Hierarchs. Ship the turn. Alright. Well, we'll see. Still would like to draw into our sideboard cards at some point. Opponent, Urza's mine. And Sylvan Scrying. Tron land number 2. Field of Ruin. Damping Sphere. One of them or another. Either one. Flooded Strand. Well, play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Take a... Hollowed Fountain. Untapped. Yeah, I guess we gotta go on the tempo plan. Pass the turn. I guess we should have not cracked the land. I was thinking we were going to run out Teferi, but then I changed my mind after cracking the fetch. And I think we want to Spell Queller this turn and then possibly Teferi the next turn. The only upside of Teferi is just randomly drawing a card. There's a tower. Opponent. Oblivion Stone. Well, white, blue, whatever. Spell Queller. Stop the Oblivion Stone. If our opponent has natural Tron, though, this is pretty scary. Because something like... Ugin just absolutely ruins our day. So Oblivion Stone, stop for now. Oh, come on, Damping Sphere. Come on, Damping Sphere. Opponent, passing. Well, go to combat. Get in with Spell Queller. Hit our opponent. Down to 17. Play Flooded Strand. Yeah, I think we gotta pass. Ooh, come on, no Tron. No Tron. No Tron. No Tron. One time. Well, multiple times. Multiple times, no Tron, not just once. Sylvan Scrying. Okay, so this means we need to crack Flooded Strand. Get a Snow-Covered Island. Restoration Angel. Watch him just have Tron and wrath our board with this Oblivion Stone. That would be bad. Resto. Blink Spell Queller. Get rid of Sylvan Scrying. Opponent gets back Oblivion Stone. Yup. Okay. And Chromatic Star. Okay. That's not too scary. Opponent, passing. Whoo, we untap. We draw Force of Negation, which is actually pretty good here. Okay, so what's our plan? Play Snow-Covered Plains. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent down to 12. Play Teferi. Pick up Spell Queller. Play... Oops. Trigger on the stack. Yeah. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Get Sword of Sinew and Steel. Pass the turn. All right, no Tron. No Tron. No Tron. Come on, no Tron land for this Oblivion Stone. About it. Oh, that's the Tron land. Ugh. All right. Well, okay. Force of Negation. Opponent did not go for Oblivion Stone, which actually means we get to blow up. They drew the Tron land, but we're still kind of in this. Amazingly enough. Oh, Field of Ruin would still be the best. Or Damping Sphere. Opponent passes. Windswept Heath. That's not on the list. Well, take up Teferi. Stoneforge. Put the sword into play. Equip it to Resto. Windswept Heath. Combat. Hit our opponent for 6. We need one more turn. One more. But our opponent has Tron now, which means something like Ugin could come and just ruin everything. Hit our opponent. Blow up Oblivion Stone with Sword of Sinew and Steel just being awesome. Yup. See you later, Wrath. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Ooh, 3 cards in hand plus a redraw of the battlefield. Can we fade one more turn? All right. The top deck came through for our opponent. Our sword keeping us in it. Do they have an Ugin? Do they have a card? What do they got? Opponent cracking. Their Chromatic Sphere. Feeling a little desperate. What do they hit? What do they find? We can deal with Wormcoil. We can actually kind of deal with Karn. Although our best bet is just to win the game if possible. Opponent. Thragtusk. Okay. Thragtusk is bad. That's bad for us. Up to 11. And surgical, our force of negation, down to 9. Okay. Well, this is interesting. This actually means that Batterskull or... Yeah, Batterskull would win us the game. Yep. All right. Forest for our opponent. Oh, they have more? Nature's claim on our sword. Opponent just had it all. Okay. Well, now Batterskull doesn't win us the game, but Crack Windswept Teeth in our deck. We could still use some Tron hate. Grab a Hallowed Fountain. Opponent. Passing. 1 card in hand. Alright. Opponent passes. Another path. That's not super helpful. Well, take up to Fairy. Go to combat. Get in with Resto. Hit our opponent down to 5. Wow, this is so close. Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Oh my god. Opponent. Untaps. What do they have? 2 cards in hand. Goes to combat. Gets in it to Fairy. Well, it's path. Opponent gets a beast. We have draws. We'll see what our opponent has, though. Opponent. What do you got? Land. Oh, something huge. Something huge. Ulamog. The Ceaseless Hunger. To Fairy and Resto. Yup. Okay, well, let's see what we can draw. Crack Windswept Teeth. Thin the deck. Take a Breeding Pool, I guess. Oh, this is so close. Yeah, that's an Ulamog. Can we draw something? Night of Autumn. Well, Night of Autumn. Make it a 4-3. That's not the worst. Next turn, that can attack through the Beast. All right, pass the turn. I mean, we have the path for the Ulamog. We can attack this turn. Wow, all right, fade it, fade it. No whammies, no whammies. Oh, this game. Opponent untaps, what do they find? Nothing good, nothing good. Come on. Oh, this is so close. Opponent goes to combat. Well, we have our second path that'll take care of the Ulamog. Whew. Opponent has Forest number 4. And what's the 1 card? Passes. We draw Field of Ruin. Well, go to combat. Attack with Night of Autumn. Trigger. Up to 5/4. Opponent has to Beast Jump. Okay. Field of Ruin. Pass the turn. Stop on the upkeep. Field of Ruin. Mine. Grab a snow-covered forest. Oh, man. What does our opponent find? They still have a bunch of mana. What do they find? Come on. Whiff, whiff, whiff. Oh, are we going to pull it off? Opponent. Expedition map. That doesn't beat us. That doesn't beat us. That can reassemble Tron. But we have lethal on board unless our opponent has something. Like Night of Autumn with Noble Hierarch is 5. Are we going to pull it off? Wow, this has been so close. We've been fighting Tron without even drawing the Tron hate, really. Out of cards! We got there! Oh! Opponent cracks. Mine? Sure. Doesn't matter. Out of cards. And taking down Tron to go up to 2-0 in a really grindy, really close, like, just ridiculous match. And opponent scoops it up. Wow. All right. We just beat Tron pretty fairly without drawing sideboard cards. All right, we'll take it. We will take it with Bant Snowblade. So, hey, all right, much ado about nothing time. We are mulliganing with Bant Snowblade. Oh, this is better. This looks fine. Yeah, we'll keep. The question is, what do we put to the bottom? I think we're going to go Force of Negation. Maybe that's greedy and wrong, but opponent's also going to 6. All right, Breeding Pool, untapped. And the Noblest of Hierarchs. Pass the turn. Oh, good to be back from Vegas and making content. Definitely. Oh, I've missed it. Snow-covered Swamp for our opponent. And Astrolabe. Sure. And Mox Opal. And opponent passes. Well, Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Run out to Fairy, Time Raveler. And we'll just tick it up. Doesn't really do anything at the moment. Don't want to bounce Astrolabe. Mox Opal doesn't really do anything either. All right, opponent, let's see what you got. Scalding Tarn. Cracked Scalding Tarn. So I'm assuming this is an Urza deck. Snow-covered Island. And Thopter Foundry. Yup. And Astrolabe. Sure. Well, we get to bounce Thopter Foundry and then Vendilion Click if we want to. Ooh, sort of fire nice. Well, step 1, bounce Thopter Foundry. play Windswept Teeth. Go to combat. Get in with Nubelhierarch. Opponent down to 18. And then, yeah, we'll just pass. Stop on our opponent's draw step. Crack Windswept Teeth for... Yeah, we'll just take Snow-Covered Forest. And run out Vanillion Click. See what our opponent's got going on over there. Opponent can't do anything because of Teferi, so... Vanillion Click, target you. Urza... Wow. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. Huh. That's not great. I don't know what we do about this. Opponent has Sword of the Meek and Thopter Foundry and Urza. The only thing keeping us alive is that our opponent does not have a land to do everything. We might just have to leave it, unfortunately. I think we do. Oh, it's so awkward. I think our way of potentially winning is our opponent not drawing into a land. So, alright. Yep. You keep them all, unfortunately. Welding Jar. Sure. And what? Thopter Foundry. Yup. And Nile Spellbomb. Okay. Opponent. Passing. Well, take up Teferi. Play Snow-Covered Island. Sword of Fire and Ice. Equip. Go to combat. Attack. I mean, we hit our opponent for 7, for 8 actually. Down to 10. This is a fast clock, especially if our opponent whiffs on a land this turn. ice-fang Coatl. Alright, pass the turn. No land, no land. Opponent untaps. If they draw land, they can go infinite. Well, that's a land. Alright. Well, actually, yeah. Now we're dead. Because I get to play Urza. Use Urza to cast Sword of the Meek. And then make infinite Thopters. Okay. Yep. Alright. I was wondering if Teferi did anything, but it doesn't really. Like, it stops them from casting stuff with Urza, but we can't beat infinite Thopters and infinite life, so... Yeah, well, that was close-ish. Urza definitely one of the probably better decks post-bannings. Alright, so against this deck, Sword of Sinew and Steel, very good. Pithing Needle, good. Knight of Autumns, Dovin's Vetoes... Rest in Peace, maybe Surgicals? How do we make room for this many cards? We can go down Sword of Fire and Ice. We can go down maybe like a couple Birds of Paradise. Path to Exile's rough. We gotta keep some number so we don't just lose to Urza. I guess we can cut Coatls. Just like the value-y Coatls aren't super helpful in this matchup. And then maybe like Trimajace. 2 paths? Oh, I don't know if we can go 2. Maybe we can go down like a Teferi Time Raveler and a big Teferi. Maybe we just go, yeah, one of each big Planeswalker. Anything else? Firewalker, no. Damping Sphere, no. I guess actually we can cut, maybe we just cut more Coatls. Yeah, let's go to 1 and keep the Teferi. Alright, run it like that. Teferi's nice because it can make our opponent pick up some of their combo pieces, and then maybe we can counter them on the way back down. Well, okay. We'll give this a go. I mean, this is a decent hand. A lot of disruption. Stoneforge to get the party started. Breeding Pool, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Snow-Covered Island. And Astrolabe. Not going to force negation that. That's a bit much. Opponent draws a card. And passes. Well, Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Snow-Covered Plains. And Stoneforge Mystic. And we are just going to snag... I think we're going to snag Sinew and Steel, actually. I think being able to just start blowing up artifacts is better than a Batter Skull here, as strange as that maybe sounds. Polluted Delta. Cracks Polluted Delta. Watery Grave. Untapped. And Thopter Found. Yeah. Force of negation. Not happy that we had to do that, but I think it was the right call. Another Stoneforge. So play Misty Rainforest. Pass the turn. We'll see what our opponent does. In theory, we can Spell Queller this turn, untap, and start getting in with Sword of Sinew and Steel to blow stuff up. Opponent. Just passing? Okay. Well, Stoneforge. Put the sword into play. Crack Misty. Take a Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Untap. Path to Exile. That's interesting. Play Flooded Strand. Get in with Stoneforge. I think we gotta leave up Spell Queller over equipping here. All we'd be blowing up is an Astrolabe, which is something, but not insane. Opponent draws a Spire of Industry. Another Astrolabe. Well, we're not going to counter that. Opponent. Passing. Well, untap. Draw. Pithing Needle. Well, okay. Go to combat. Get in with Stoneforge. This is not how you're supposed to beat people with Stoneforge. Like, the whole Squire beatdown. That's not the main plan, but Pithing Needle. Name. Thopter Foundry. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Mox Opal. Is it Urza time? Breeding Pool. Also untapped. Sword of the Meek. Sure. Opponent passing. Alright, untap. There's a land. So Snow-Covered Forest. Let's equip up Sword of Sinew and Steel. Assassin's Trophy the Sword. Okay, sure. Grab a Snow-Covered Island. Well, Squire in for one. Maybe we'll get there with the Stoneforge beats. Maybe that'll actually work. Vote it. Down to 12. Untaps. Well, there's Urza. That is not part of our plan. So Spell Queller. Lock down the Urza. Chromatic Star. Sure. Opponent. Passing. Little Teferi would be nice here. Crag Flooded Strand. Get a Hollowed Fountain. Little Teferi to bounce Spell Queller. That would be so good. Flooded Strand. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent to 9. Stoneforge Mystic. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't win next turn no matter what. Stoneforge, grab Batterskull. Yeah, I think we run it out. Flooded Strand, crack Flooded Strand. Actually, I don't know if we run it out. I'm a little worried about Urza. Yeah, we're going to run it out. Batterskull. Shields down. Batterskull also down. And see what happens. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. What do they have? 3 cards in hand. Can they find a way out? First up, Astrolabe. Draws a card. And, oh, another Urza? Ew, okay. Yeah, that's not great. There's the Urza. They also get a spin of the Urza, if they desire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, not spinning Urza. Is this Whir? Whir for like, Whir for Ensnaring Bridge? Yep. Alright. Well, opponent passes. Let's see what we draw. A useless land. Well, I guess this means we need to path Urza, go to combat, get in for 2, hit our opponent. We've survived 2 Urzas, and we got our opponent's combo shut down. But I'm not sure we're actually winning this game. We need to draw a way to get rid of this no, not Urza 3. Urza 3? Ooh. Oh, Tezzeret! Okay. Okay, that's fine. Oh boy. Alright, yeah, that's really bad. Opponent, Thopter Foundry. Well, that's locked, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're actually just dead to Tezzeret Ultimate. So we gotta draw an answer to Tezzeret? Ugh, that's asking a lot. Opponent, there's the Thopter Foundry. So we need a big Planeswalker. That's what we need. I guess Knight of Autumn to kill Bridge also gives us a shot. Jace. Okay. So play Jace. Brainstorm with Jace. None of those things do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Surgical, no. Veto, yeah. All right. Huh. So Tezzeret, since you don't see it much, -4 is target player loses twice X life, where X is number of artifacts you control. Opponent's got 9, so we get drained for 18. We needed to hit something different here. Yeah, that's just that's game. The 5/0 Dream dies to Urza, thanks to some sneaky Tezzeret tech from the sideboard. Yeah, that Tezzeret was good. Oh, we were where we wanted to be, I think. Minus that Tezzeret, we kept the Urzas under control. We kept the combo under control, but the Tezzeret just got us. Somehow our opponent drew a powerful Planeswalker before we did. Awkward. Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. We are Bant Snowblading in Modern. And, yeah, this isn't gonna work. 1 Field of Ruin is our only land. Eee! Alright, well this we're gonna keep. Not super happy. We're gonna need a land. We are on the draw, though. So if we hit a land for blue mana, this is fine. Hopefully we're in a matchup where Path is good. If we're in a non-Path matchup, then this gets a bit sketchier. All right, opponent, what are you up to? Inspiring Vantage. Okay. Well, Path should be fine. Burn can be tough in game 1, but we have some good sideboard cards. So we'll see. Opponent getting in, hitting us. Down to 19. Yep. Snow-covered plains, it's a little awkward because it doesn't let us cast our blue cards, but it does mean we get to Path without taking damage, which is nice. Opponent, Swift Spear. Holy Swift Spears. Well, Path of Swift Spear. Yeah, opponent has more more Swift Spears than we have Paths. Combat. Gets it. Hits us. Down to 17. Well, we untap. Windswept Heath. Well, playing Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. So we get to Path another Swift Spear, and our opponent is down to 3 cards. But after that, Eidolon. Ugh. Yeah, Path of Swift Spear. Opponent's got a very oddly creature-heavy draw. Opponent, combat. Gets it. Well, crack Windswept Heath. Take a Hollowed Fountain. Alright, so we're down to 15. And our opponent gets to cash in Sunbait Canyon for another card. Alright, down to 15. Opponent passes. Interesting. Well, 3 passes something. I think we just play Temple Garden tapped, pass the turn. I mean, maybe we have a shot here. We'll see. Opponent, Boros Charms. Puts us down to 11. Okay. Untaps. Cracks the canyon. 3 cards in hand. Another canyon. Ugh, another Eidolon. Ugh, that's so much damage. Alright. Yeah, so many what a weird bird draw. Opponent's just drawn all the creatures. Eidolon number 2. Swift Spear hits us. Opponent, last card, more bird. Lightning Helix. And they have the Sunbait Canyon. So this puts us to 6-4 to 2. Stoneforge dead. Alright. Yep. Well, that was a very interesting burn draw. Good news is we do have some very good burn cards in our sideboard. We get 2 Core Firewalkers. We get 2 Knight of Autumns. And possibly a Dovin's Veto or 2. We can go down to Teferi. We can go down to Jace. We can trim like a Birds of Paradise and a Birds of Paradise, a Birds of Paradise, and a Vendilion Click, I think. And let's run it like that. So we really want a Core Firewalker. That is our I win card against Burn, essentially. If we have that in our opening hand, life is super good. Okay, that's 2 Core Firewalkers. Feeling confident about where we're at in this one. Okay! Well, that is a hand you want staring back at you when you know you're up against Burn. Misty Raid Force go. I think that might do it. We'll see. Opponent probably has Skull Cracks after sideboarding, but still. Arid Mesa. Opponent cracks it. We can save our Force of Negations if they have a Skull Crack. Goblin Guide. Opponent, combat. Gonna get in. Hit us. Top card. Teferi. Well, we will crack. Take a Hollowed Fountain. Need our double white. Drop to 17, but now the fun begins. Snow-covered plains and Core Firewalker, part 1. And they scoop him up. It's so good against Burn. It's like just ridiculously good. All right, opponent. Oh, they really did scoop him up. Okay. Oh, I told you it was good. Oh, opponent just done. Wants no part of it at all. Okay, well, yeah, run it back. Let's have the double Firewalker hand again. Opponent's on the play. This hand. We're gonna keep. We're going to keep and go on the Stoneforge plan. Batter's Call is also very good. We have the Force of Negation. Eventually, these might have Death Touch. So we don't have a Firewalker, but outside of having a Firewalker or a Knight of Autumn, this hand's solid. And our opponent's going to 6, which doesn't hurt. Burn is a deck that wants as many cards as possible. And I kind of like the Force of Negation. All right, let's see it, opponent. What do you got? Inspiring Advantage. Monastery Swift Spear. Yep. Opponent gets in. Down to 19. We draw to Fairy. Well, Breeding Pool tapped. Pass the turn. See what our opponent has. 4 cards in hand. Opponent untaps. Wooded Foothills. Cracks it. Oh, do they have Eidolon too? That's not ideal. That is Eidolon. That's a lot of damages. Opponent gets in. Hits us. Down to 18. Oh, Flooded Strand. Crack it. Down to 17. Snow-covered plains. Stoneforge Mystic. Down to 16. Take Batterskull. Pass the turn. Can this Force of Negation keep our Batterskull and Stoneforge safe? Opponent. Lightning Bolts. Stoneforge. Well, force it. Take 2. Do they have another one? Oh! Yup. Well, I think that's the death of us. Well, that was our shot. This Eidolon's brutal. We dropped to 8. Play Field of Ruin. Night of Autumn. We drop to 6. But we go back up to 10 temporarily. Pass the turn. Yeah, this Eidolon's really good. It's been very punishing. Opponent, 3 cards in hand. Didn't play a land next turn, so they presumably have 3 action spells. Ugh, so close. Opponent, Goblin Guide. Yup, combat, attacks. Top card is a Spell Queller. Well, we will block Goblin Guide. Do what we can do. Drop to 9. Rift Bolt suspended. Now play Misty. Pass the turn. Rift Bolt coming down. Well, we will Spell Queller. Drop to 7. Hit the Rift Bolt. And see what happens. Opponent goes to 11. Combat. Attacks. Yeah, I mean, we can't really do anything about any of this. Are we dead? We are dead. Oh! Man, another close one. But not close enough. Okay, well, one more to go. Can we finish with a winning record at least with Bant Snowblade? We'll see. Man, those have been some close games. All right. Much Abrew about nothing time. We are Bant Snowblading in Modern, and no blades. This hand's fine. I mean, Noble Hierarch into Force of Negation into Resto. Could use some action, though. This would be a hand where, like a Jace or Teferi or Stoneforge, one of our payoffs would be helpful. Well, Snow-Covered Forest, Noble Hierarch, you. See what our opponent's up to. Tron. Ugh, again. Alright, Chromatic Star. Tron with 7 cards. That's not what you want to see. Well, we will play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Opponent. Ugh. Yikes. Opponent. Passing. Well, crack Flooded Strand. Take a Hallowed Fountain, I guess. Untap. That is a Field of Ruin. I think we wait, though. How do we want to do this? I think we need to get a threat down and start actually killing our opponent. So I think what we do here is play Breeding Pool. Untapped. Pass the turn. No attacks. Opponent. Do they have Natural Tron? Cracks for green. Sylvan's Scrying. Well, okay. That we will Force of Negation. Ooh, and opponent does not have a land at all? Okay. Oh, they do. Sanctum of Ugin. Sure. Another Breeding Pool. Well, play Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin the Tower. Snow-Covered Island. Birds of Paradise. And get in for 1. We need some action, though. Like, we're stopping Tron temporarily, but our clock is amazingly slow. Opponent's down to 19. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Sylvan's Scrying. So Tron going to quickly reassemble itself. Or, I guess assemble. There's the tower. And the map. Alright, so Tron definitely incoming. I guess we could draw another Field of Ruin, but opponent. Jace. Yeah, Jace is sweet, but I don't know if it stops... I don't know if it stops the problem here. Play Jace. Brainstorm. Field of Ruin? Guild of Gwyn? More Jaces and Batterskulls. Well, put back 2 lands. Play the Flooded Strand. Get in with the Noblest of Hierarchs. Yeah, but here comes Tron and 7 mana, and we just don't have enough pressure to get through that. Oh, Jace gave us a shot. We could have hit something that would have been really good, but we didn't. Power Plant. What payoff you got, opponent? I mean, I guess our opponent could not have a payoff. It's not impossible. Chromatic Star. Okay. Cracks it for green. Okay. And Walking Ballista. Gonna kill our dorks. But this means Jace untaps. Well, crack Flooded Strand. Take a Hallowed Fountain tapped. Untap. Path. Well, Brainstorm with Jace. Put back Batterskull. Put back... Oh, these cards don't really help us. Put back Batterskull and Jace. Play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. We needed it a way to get our opponent off of Tron, I think. Take the snow-covered island. And I guess we just gotta pass and hope. Hope our opponent doesn't have a finisher. Opponent, untaps. Another tower. So mana, pretty infinite now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 mana. Opponent, combat. Attacks Jace. Well, we will ice-fang Quaddle. Draw a card. Block the Ballista. That means our opponent has something big. Kill the Ballista. 9 mana. Emrakul the Promised End. Okay. Reveals an Ulamog. Yeah, that probably gets us. Alright, well. Alright, opponent. Yeah, that is a payoff and a half. Opponent gets to control our turn. Probably ruin our hand, etc., etc. They can definitely bounce their own Emrakul. Brainstorms with Jace. Gonna put back our good cards, I assume. And then shuffle them away. Plays a land. Cracks. Fails to find. Then they can, like, Stoneforge fail to find, I guess. Or are they gonna, like, play Teferi and tuck our Jace? Oh, yeah, I forgot how devastating Emrakul was. It's not as immediately deadly as, like, getting annihilated, but boy, is it brutal. And, yeah, I don't think we can get out of this now. Yeah, Teferi tucks our Jace. Yeah, Emrakul, that's pretty good. Opponent does all their stuff, decides to pass. We draw Batterskull, which is really bad, because we have double Stoneforge in hand. We draw Restoration Angel. Yeah, alright. Well, we got Emrakul. The old million for one. Well, let's bring in our Tronde. Dapping Spheres in, Sinew and Steel in, Surgicals in. Go down. Sword of Fire and Ice. Go down a Path to Exile. Go down couple Birds of Paradise. Maybe a Spell Queller and I guess one big Teferi. Run it like that. Whoo! Yeah, I forgot how brutal Emrakul the Promised End can be. It can be pretty good. And it was pretty good that game. It definitely got us good. Well, we'll see. We beat Tron earlier this league. So we know it's possible. And we have a lot of sideboard cards. So we'll see. We'll see. Emrakul's definitely annoying. We don't have great ways of dealing with Emrakul, unfortunately. But we get to play first. Yeah, alright. We have an interesting hand. We're mostly keeping this based on the strength of Field of Ruin. If we draw a Surgical, which we get a redraw with Quaddle, we can put our opponent off Tron forever, and since we are on the play, it's going to be fast enough. So, well, Hallowed Fountain tapped. Pass the turn. And Sword of Sinew and Steel is actually pretty decent against Tron. Urza's mine. Chromatic Sphere. Opponent. Passing. Well, how do we want to do this? Yeah, let's just pass the turn. We can run out our Quaddle. Opponent cracks 4 green. Power plant. Alright, well, opponent mull to 5, turn 3 Tron. That's where we're at. Run out Quaddle. See if we can draw a Surgical. That would be the sweetest. Another Noble Hierarch. Alright, well, Tron officially assembled. Oh, they just have it in hand? Oh, they get a forest. Okay. Oh, that's an awkward force of negation. Well, Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin. The power plant. Take a snow-covered forest. Play Noble Hierarch. Get in for 2. And we'll see what our opponent has. Opponent down to 18. Tron take 1 dealt with. But the fact that our opponent got a forest off of their Sylvan Scrying, that means they definitely had Tron in hand. Expedition map, so Tron's returning. Oh boy. Alright, let's draw this Surgical. One time Surgical. Another force of negation. Well, in that case, play Noble Hierarch. Go to combat. Get in. Hit our opponent. For 3. Down to 15. Hallowed Fountain. Untapped. We gotta go for it. Resto. Blink. ice-fang Quaddle. Surgical! Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what our opponent's payoff is. We can Force of Negation, pitching Force of Negation. There's Tron. 8 mana. Opponent. Chromatic Sphere. Sure. Cracks it for green. Karn. Well, yeah, we got to do it. Force, Pitching Force, stop the card, untap, play Jace, Brainstorm with Jace, put back Sword in land, play Misty, go to combat, get in with Resto, hit our opponent, down to 10, and then Damping Sphere, hope for the best. All right, opponent, let's see what you got. Untaps. Can they kill the Damping Sphere? Blast Zone. And passing? Ooh, not passing. Chromatic Sphere. Sure. Okay, that's not super scary. Now passing. Well, crack Misty. Shuffle. Grab a Breeding Pool tapped. Untap. Snow-covered island. Yeah, let's brainstorm. Is there anything better we can do? Yeah, let's brainstorm. See what we can find. Not much. Put back Noble Hierarch. Put back Snow-covered island. Play Misty. Go to combat. Get in with Restoration Angel for 5. Hit our opponent down to 5. Uh-oh. Cracks for green. Draws a card. All right. Does nothing. Drops to 5. Well, let's run out Stoneforge. Even though it is going to die, but that's fine. Stoneforge, Sinew and Steel. Pass the turn. All right. At least Blast Zone eats up a lot of our opponent's mana. Yep. Takes up to 2. Untaps. Blast Zone. Kills our 2-drops. And scoops it up. Oh, it was not enough. It was not enough. We got there. One more. One more to feed the kids and get the winning record. Can we do it one more time? Oh, Tron. Oh, Tron's on the play, too, which is a little bit scarier. Just a bit. Oh, yeah. All right. I mean, I don't think we change anything. I think we run it back. Fingers crossed for Bant Snowblade. Once more against Tron. Let's do it. Maybe we do want the needle. Let's go down a Coatl for the needle. Otherwise, yeah, run it back. All right, we're on the draw. Damping Sphere? Whew. Oh, the Planeswalkers are sweet, but this does not interact with our opponent's deck at all. Turn 1 Hierarch. Turn 2 nothing. Turn 3 Jace. We could be dead by then. Yeah, we're going to mulligan. Okay, well, we'll try it. Opponent's going to 5. We will put Jace to the bottom. All right, well, opponent did some mulliganing. Our hand's not horrible. Power plant. Expedition map. Oh, they're going to have Tron. Yep. Well, opponent passes. Misty. Crack it. Breeding Pool. Untapped. Hierarch. Pass the turn. Well, we will see. We're going to need to draw into Damping Sphere or Field of Ruin. Opponent untaps. There's the tower. So Tron will be assembled. Opponent passes. Field of Ruin. Windswept Teeth. All right, so play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Our only realistic plan now is to draw step Vendilion Click and try to get rid of whatever finisher our opponent has. And then maybe we can... Wow. Huh. So opponent just has natural Tron. Well, crack Windswept Teeth. Take a Snow-Covered Plains. Vendilion Click. Well, let's see. How bad is it? Take the card. In theory, our opponent doesn't have a finisher. There's Tron. Expedition map. Field of Ruin. Damping Sphere. Field of Ruin. Damping Sphere. Field of Ruin. That's a Field of Ruin. Although it's not as good as it looks because our opponent can reassemble. I'll go to combat. Get in with Vendilion Click. Hit our opponent. Down to 60. Play Field of Ruin. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks. Gets a Blast Zone. Okay. Do we Field of Ruin? Yeah, I think we do. Or maybe we just try to Spell Queller. They can reassemble. We're not doing much. They just crack map with whatever land we target. Get the Tron land. Alright, yeah. I guess we don't. Let's just Spell Queller. Hope our opponent doesn't draw a finisher. Like, that's our hope now. And having Field of Ruin for Blast Zone might be important. Forest for our opponent. And passes. Well, I guess we run out of Spell Queller. Untap. Snow-Covered Island. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Down to 11. Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Pass the turn. Fade. We gotta fade it. Opponent untaps. Draws. No whammies. No big things. Blast Zone. Okay. Sylvan Scrying. Okay. Gets a Sanctum of Ugin. Well, let's Field of Ruin, Blast Zone. Opponent cracks the map. Gets a tower. Sacks the Blast Zone. Yup. Now we untap. We play Snow-Covered Island. We go to combat. We swing. We hit our opponent to 6. We pass the turn. One more turn. No Ugins, no cards. Opponent draws. What do they find? Come on, nothing. Come on. Oblivion Stone. Well, we got a Spell Queller. That's our hope. Spell Queller it. Resolves. Opponent scoops it up. We got there. Taking down Tron twice. Well, that was not the beautiful 5-0 we were dreaming of, but I mean, still a good performance for Bant Snowblade. We got a treasure chest. We took down Tron ×2, which was pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, that's the deck. I kind of wish that I got one of the 5-0s on camera, but we'll take it. We'll take a 3-2 and a pretty good performance for the deck. Well, let's crack open our one treasure chest. Get a complete set, something sweet. Or leadership vacuum. All right, yeah. Well, that's the deck, and I mean, I think I'm pretty happy overall, especially taking down Tron twice. That is the best part. Going 3-2 is fine. Going 3-2 and taking down Tron ×2, that's even a little bit better than a normal 3-2. So, yeah, all right, we can talk about it in the wrap-up. I'll be right back. So what did we learn this week about Bant Snowblade in Modern? And good news is we finished with a winning record. We went 3-2, which I think is, I mean, that's a fine record. Even really good decks, you can't expect a 5-0 all the time. So I was hoping we would even do better because, like I said, I had some 5-0s when I was out on vacation in Vegas, and it would have been sweet to have one of those on video. But a 3-2 record, it's not bad. We beat Tron twice. We took down blue-white control, and I think that's one of the places this deck is really good. It is a very good deck at winning Stoneblade mirrors, and if you have a lot of people playing various Snowblade control decks, this deck is just insane against those decks. I think it's maybe one of the best, or the best Stoneforge deck for beating other Stoneforge decks. It's some of the other decks where things can get a little sketchy sometimes. As far as losses, we lost to an Urza deck, which, that happens. Urza, one of the better decks in the format. And then we lost to Burn, which was a little disappointing. With 2 core Firewalkers and 2 Night of Autumns, we do have a decent amount of stuff for the Burn matchup, and I've beat Burn several times before with this deck, but it's really just about drawing your sideboard cards, as we saw in that match. In Game 2, we drew our core Firewalker, and our opponent literally just scooped the game when we cast it on turn 2. So you can just win games if you have the sideboard cards. If you don't hit the Night of Autumns and core Firewalkers, or get down a Batter Skull quickly, then we can just get run over by Bird. Like, Force of Negation helps a little bit, but really, we're really leaning on a select few life gain cards to give us a chance in Burn, which left us with a 3-2 record overall. And I think combining that with a bunch of good performances in the past, and I think this deck is pretty real. Like, is it breaking the format or anything? I don't know, but it's definitely like a tournament playable Modern deck, and I really like a lot of the stuff this deck does. As I mentioned before, I think it's one of the best Stoneforge decks for beating other Stoneforge decks. We just have so many good things. Like, the flash creatures are great in controlling matchups. We have good swords. Sword of Sinew and Steel is really sweet. We got good planeswalkers. So there's a lot of value in those grinding matchups, and I feel really comfortable with this deck outgrinding just about anyone in the format. On the other hand, like I said, Burn can be sketchy. Fast combo, we're leaning on like Force of Negations and Damping Spheres. So there are matchups where it's kind of like, do we draw our right sideboard cards for the matchup? But that's kind of just a hallmark of the Modern format. So I don't know. If you're looking for a fun, interactive way to play Stoneblade or play Stoneforge Mystic, I feel like this deck is a good option. Like, it's not the hardcore control Callblade build. It's more of like a fun version of the deck where you have all these flash creatures. It's really interactive. As you start our games, it's really tight margins. Like, almost every match that we played was super close. Win or lose, we were like really like right on the edge, grinding it out, getting in chips of damage or getting in the sword hits. So it plays some really close, tight, interesting games, and I think it's pretty powerful and pretty good. So anyway, that's Bant Snowblade for Modern. That's my first first take at a Stoneforge Mystic deck. I'm sure there'll be more in the future because it's one of the most exciting things going in Modern right now. Just with the unbanning, the shakeup of the format, I haven't been this excited for Modern since maybe Modern Horizons released, and that went bad pretty quick thanks to Hogak. So I actually think, as you saw in our matchups, Modern's in a sweet place right now. For a bunch of leagues that I've played over the last week or two, it's not so much that, oh, I'm dying on turn 2 anymore. Like, there's a lot of interactive, fun games going on, and it's been a while since Modern has been in this awesome of a place. So yeah, the only downside is the deck is a bit expensive. It's kind of like good stuff, tons of expensive cards together, which is a little bit sad. Stoneforge and Jaces and Teferis, a lot of money to make the deck work. But outside of the cost problem, Modern is awesome right now. Bant Snowblade is awesome, and yeah, I really like the deck, and I'll probably keep playing it, and maybe we'll get a 5-0 with it in the future. So anyway, that's been Bant Snowblade for Modern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.